The good things are going to come to an end on Wednesday. Mostly cloudy or an overcast sky. We're going to start the day with a couple of scattered showers across the Tennessee Valley, but that activity is gradually going to become more widespread the later we get into Wednesday afternoon and then eventually through Wednesday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Who wants coffee? Anybody wants coffee?
Tom, can you get me off the hook? Roll type C.
The tire's tired.
He ain't good looking, but he sure ain't shy. He's a northern bred, southern fed, slick talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger land. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Testosterone high today.
Yeah, Tom's a man, he's got the plan, he's really got it made. What a wife he's got, she's smoking hot, check out the junkyard babe. When everything is said and done, no one can beat his show. He's a high-tech redneck, Tony Soprano. If you love sports without the fluff, he's got the master plan. There's nobody does it like Thom Abraham, yeah.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? If somebody responds.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Thom Abraham Show, the takeover edition with me, Smokey Mike, and Coach Grizz, the Chad. Chad, good morning, sir. How's it going?
In the blue hell are you? What is your name? It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a one-hour television spectacular.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
He may be the smartest person that I've ever met.
Testosterone high today.
What's that?
Testosterone, whatever the it is. Testosterone.
I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
I had to do it. I'm sorry. I had to do it. We didn't do it yesterday. We didn't do it Friday.
You missed 2 days of Sounders, and now you're deciding to bring it back.
I know, right? I mean, we just had to bring it back. I mean, we didn't even play. I mean, honestly, we didn't even play the football music. But I'm not going to do it right now, to be honest with you. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Football Friday music.
I don't want to hurt. We did play. Well, no, we did play football Friday music, but we
What?
didn't play the 70s amazing tune.
We didn't play the sexy swag music.
we didn't. We didn't play it.
No, cut that.
We didn't play
It's
it.
not Friday.
I get it. We didn't play it. But it is. We can rejoice because we're gonna pretty much talk football. It seems like all day today. It seems. There's a lot of basketball going on too. Trust me, we're gonna be talking about that. But
right.
The biggest news.
Yeah, we got Bama and Auburn coming up 8 p.m. on ESPN, or you can listen to it here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. But for real quick, we'll get some particulars out real quick, and then we'll go into the news of the day. You can call into the show, 256-576-4977. What we got on the show today, David Moulton from the NFL on Fox and also the SEC on CBS will be joining us at 10:25 to discuss what happened this morning with a certain particular announcement that we'll go into here in a little bit, as well as Beau Estes from NBA TV and NBA.com, the GOAT mentor, as he does the NBA Top 10 almost each and every night and does a wonderful job with that. He will be coming on with us at 11:25 today discussing we're getting close to the All-Star break, and now stuff is starting to get more interesting with the NBA, especially with the way some certain particular teams have decided to just rocket themselves into the upper echelon of the association. But Chad, well, what we got on the show today? We got Bama and Auburn talk.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little SEC basketball this evening. Florida and Florida State. Next year is going to be on a Friday night. How do you feel about that? Like that rivalry has gone all the way down.
I mean, to be honest with you, I love the Egg Bowl, and that's not on, primetime nights either. But obviously it's not like a huge national game, right? Like,
right.
It's gotten to the point where, like, why in the world would a Florida State matchup be on a Friday night? Like, that sounds like a Pac-12 after dark type of thing, or just a Pac-12 primetime game on a Friday night that nobody cares about. Isn't there a championship game on, like, a Friday night or something like that? Isn't it, like, usually
Pac-12 championships on Friday night?
Yeah, which is ridiculous. Like, why would you put a championship game or one of your biggest games on a Thursday night or a Friday night, especially if there's, like, if you had another sport going on that might have something that might be going on around the same time that is going to take attention away from watching that game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to watch football either way, but to be honest with you, I don't watch games, especially college games, on a Friday night, because usually I'm watching either something else or I'm out or doing, whatever. Like, I'm not paying attention to what that is, and it's just kind of sad to see two top programs like this. But I feel like Billy Napier is going to get them. And Norvell is going to do a great job over at Florida State as well. Sorry, I thought I went out for a second. My headset just kind of like shut off. I think I may have clicked it off or something. I couldn't hear anything at first.
But
so there we go.
We'll get more into that into detail because we've just got so much going on right here. The Winter Olympics start this week, and does anybody really care? We'll get into that in a little bit more later on into the show. But first and foremost, the announcement came about, say, an hour ago where Tom Brady put out on his Instagram that he officially sucks. And I wish we had some sounders from Tom Abraham because he seems to be the only one with that.
He has that one sounder, yeah.
WEEI cut back in 2014 of Brady saying, "When I suck, I'll retire."
Yeah.
Because now it is official. Tom Brady has put out that he is done, has put out on Instagram, and I'm not going to go through the whole 7-post essay that Tom put out there, but just a little bit of highlights talking about that my playing career has been such a thrilling ride and far beyond my imagination and full of ups and downs. When you're in it every day, you really don't think about any kind of ending. As I sit here now, however, I think of all the great players and coaches that I was privileged to play with and against. The competition was fierce and deep, just how we like it.
All right.
But the friendships and relationships...
Phrasing, boom.
Hey, phrasing. But the friendships and relationships are just as fierce and deep. I will remember and cherish these memories and revisit them often. I feel like the luckiest person in the world.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, I'm going to take it day by day. I know for sure I want to spend a lot of time giving to others and trying to enrich other people's lives, just as so many have done for me. With much love, appreciation, and gratitude, Tom. The GOAT, and honestly, can you love him or you hate him?
Yeah.
You have to say he is the GOAT of the NFL at the quarterback position. Is there anybody else that even comes close?
I mean, Montana. Maybe. Joe, because for years before he started, before Brady started winning more, obviously, it was always comparing him to Montana, I would think. You know what I mean? I mean, like, what other statistically quarterback would maybe, you know what I mean? Or like championship winning quarterback, Terry Bradshaw? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, would you throw him in those kind of categories? No, but Brady is the GOAT. I mean, when it comes to, because like they were talking, we're literally just piggybacking off what Greeny was saying about, the Mount Rushmore of sports, and it's a team sport, and it's like Brady, though, it's like LeBron. It's like when we talk about the difference between Michael Jordan and LeBron, and then it's like, I think it's era. You know what I mean? The era of basketball. Because Wilt Chamberlain was a stud. You know what I mean? Magic was a stud. It's just like that. Those could have been your best players. You know what I mean? And when I look at Tom Brady, I don't see a quarterback, obviously, from what he's done for 20 years, other than maybe, but to win championships, nobody else. So yes, he is the GOAT, the championship winning quarterback, the guy you build your franchise around. Obviously, we've witnessed it for so long. Yes. I don't think you can say that there's any other quarterback that might be close. I mean, not statistically when it comes to touchdowns, yards. I mean, I looked at the stat with Tom Brady yesterday that was like he has 13,000 yards in the postseason alone. Most quarterbacks in the last decade don't even have that many in their entire career. It's asinine to think that there's a better quarterback than Tom Brady. But you hate it, but you have to learn to respect it.
You have to learn to like it.
Learn to love it. Yeah. You may not like it, but accept it. That's Randy Savage, but you're trying to do the Ric Flair.
Yeah. Diamonds are forever, and so is Ric Flair. But so is Tom Brady. And now we go into it and we go, all right, so Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
If you go Mount Rushmore of team sports, obviously you've got Brady.
Yeah.
You've got MJ. You've got to put Gretzky in there.
Yeah.
And so who would number 4 be?
I mean, it would come down to who do you think, like they were talking about. It would come down to being who would be the best who would honestly be the best baseball guy out of you. And for me,
it doesn't even have to be baseball.
But I think it is though, cuz I really do think it is, because those are the 4 top sports. And if you ask, like most people would tell you a baseball player.
You are a soccer guy,
but I would say Pele over everybody. But Pele overall.
Did Pele win anything?
Yeah, for Brazil.
Oh, okay.
So I would say Pele overall, because when we're sitting here talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, he will never win a World Cup with Portugal. He never has. Also, when we talk about the Messis of the world, Messi, right? He's never, or he won with Spain, but he could never win with he won with Spain, but he could never win with Barcelona. I mean, won with Barcelona as well. But it's like, I'm sorry, I'm getting that so wrong. Argentina.
What are you talking about?
Argentina, I apologize. I'm just like solely messing up because I'm thinking of Spain and Barcelona. He won with Barcelona, but he could never win with Argentina because that's his home country. But he could never win the World Cup. You know what I mean? Even it being a team sport, Messi could never win the World Cup. And that was the issue that I have with him, is that, like, you want to say you're the greatest, right? Winning the World Cup is bigger than winning, like, you know what I mean? Like, if there was like a world football thing, you know what I mean? Wouldn't it be greater to win the world football championship over the Super Bowl? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's a bigger thing for other sports, but when it comes to football, that's the highest thing you can do. And Brady has done that so many times. So Brady, Gretzky, and what did you just say? Jordan.
Yeah. You can't forget Jordan.
Bill Russell won 10, right?
Right.
Can we say Bill
11,
Russell?
11,
or 11? Can
11.
we put him on the top?
The wife actually chimed in and she said Lewis Hamilton she would put on the Mount Rushmore.
I can agree with it, but when I'm looking back on...
Because if you look at it with baseball, like...
It's either Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, you could say Jackie Robinson, like they said, or you could say Hank Aaron, and I'm not even trying to be totally biased, like an Atlanta bias guy.
It's supposed to be
what I
a
mean?
generational talent that has won. And Gretzky won.
Right.
Jordan won.
Right.
TB12 won.
Right.
So
is LeBron on that list?
LeBron, hell no. But if you look at it, I mean, baseball-wise, Jeter... Is that the only one that you could possibly use?
Jeter, Babe Ruth.
Jeter wasn't even the best on his team half the time.
He
was the heart and soul.
That's what I'm saying.
Of the Yankees,
it's like Babe Ruth, Jeter, Willie Mays. I mean, you could say baseball players. It's weird because you could say whoever, and you'd be like, okay, there's always a case for like someone in baseball. When it comes to football, we already know. Like the question you asked me earlier, we already know who's the GOAT in football. It's Tom Brady. It will always be Tom Brady until Patrick Mahomes or, I don't know, Joe Burrow. You know what I mean? Somebody in the next – they have to do it for the next 20 years, dude, at a high level.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And
that's the wild thing.
It's the generational talent. And that is why when I look at baseball, I don't see the generational talent that we could put on this Mount Rushmore right here. As we go to basketball – I mean, you could go LeBron. Like, some people will have arguments for LeBron. Some people will have arguments for Magic Johnson. that's perfectly fine. You can actually that is acceptable. And then football-wise, Joe Montana is the only other one that you could possibly put on this Mount Rushmore because the way he won in the Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Like, he never lost a Super Bowl. And that is one thing that a lot of people don't realize. If you go to 4 Super Bowls and you go 4-0,
yeah,
that's I would say hard. Well, yeah, obviously it's harder than going 0-4 like Jim Kelly, Marv Levy, and the Bills.
Yeah,
but that's still like, we were talking Messi and all that with Argentina. Argentina won a World Cup because of one particular person, the hand of God.
Yeah, Maradona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you consider him up in that area?
I mean, rest in peace, because I mean, I know people don't like that guy as like like never really liked that guy as a person, but as a soccer player, I mean, yes, he was a stud. But when I look at soccer, and I know at least some history of soccer, I would probably still choose Pele over everybody. I mean, that dude, when we talk about, like, we're talking about generational talent, this guy was like when they talk about individual sports, like Ali, obviously, Mike Tyson, you know, I mean, even
I didn't
Fury,
even think about the
you know what I mean? Like,
no, you don't bring Tyson Fury into this. He does not have any argument with Mike Tyson at all.
What I'm just saying, but like generational talent to the point where you're likable, you're the best of the best. You know what I mean? And when we're looking at that, I mean, you just kind of have to. I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to kind of say who's the best when you're trying to do a top 4. You know what I mean? And basically, when all eras are different and everything like that, it all factors in, and so it's really hard to kind of do that.
Kramer gets in on the Twitter window. First, he says that we could play that sexy swag music anytime, but no.
I know I'm done playing it right now. But I will play it on Friday.
He also comes in, the top 4 or 20 greatest athletes is like arguing top guitar players. It's different for everybody, because how about Jesse Owens or some Olympic athlete that different eras or areas, I guess. I don't know where you're going with that, Craig. Arguments have to be relative to their era. Well, if you want to go Olympics, Michael Phelps.
Yeah.
There's another one. I mean,
top.
Who would you have at that number 4 slot? 256-576-4977 is the number to get in. And we'll also have a top 10 coming on after David Moulton. Let's see. We got the rundown right here. Bama, Auburn, Florida State, winner, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Let's go get a break right here, and then we'll get to David Moulton on the other side of the commercial break. You are listening to the Thom Abraham Show right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
Beijing 2022, Norway the favorite to nab the most Winter Olympic gold medals at -400, with Germany behind them at +600, Russia +900, then the United States at +1400, and Canada at +1600. The LA Rams opening as a 4-point favorite on their home field in Super Bowl 56 against the Bengals at +165 on the money line. The Rams -195, the over-under set at 49. College basketball, number 1 Auburn, undefeated in SEC play, 20-1 overall, hosting Alabama at 14-7, 4-4 in league play. Auburn beat Alabama earlier this season in Tuscaloosa. Tonight, the Tigers a 7-point home favorite.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thom Abraham here for my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental. Coming in April, Valley will have a second location opening up on the North Parkway between Winchester Road and Bob Wade. They'll be offering bigger contractor-only type equipment, including 10K reach forklifts, 300 series track hose, and larger rollers and dozers, along with other equipment. Valley Equipment's 2 locations will better serve the region and allow them to grow their fleet. Valley Equipment Rental, locally owned for 10 years, where they put more care in every rental.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is your big game headquarters all fall long. And with our new fall features, every day is game day at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Try our pregame starters, including our homemade onion strings, always fresh hot lips, and our all-new Buffalo Dippin' Chicken appetizer. Our main events include incredible chicken, fish, and shrimp selections, always featuring local Alabama Gulf seafood. And don't forget our Sunday Blitz, 11 to 6. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
We love our pets, and when we need boarding or vet services, we want the best. That's why we chose Paradise Pet Resort and Spa. Everything our pets needed, all in one place. Boarding for both dogs and cats. Doggy daycare, grooming and spa services, web cameras, and top-notch vet care, too. It's a true Paradise Pet Resort for your furry friends, serving all of North Alabama. Find out everything you need to know and book services online at ParadisePetResortAndSpa.com. Located in Madison, just off 565 at Wall Triana, behind Cracker Barrel.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
At Progressive, we know there's nothing like the feeling of riding a motorcycle with your crew on the open road. That symphony of engines roaring in perfect harmony. It's a feeling that would be impossible to recreate on the radio. Until now. Hit it, Jerry. Oh, my word. Really, really terrible. Was that a glockenspiel, Jerry? Quote with Progressive and see if you could save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. No, Jerry. It's over.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Have you ever found exactly the right new car or truck with the exact features that you want and nothing else? Well, at Woody Anderson Ford, we can promise you just that. Hey, Bobby White back again, and you can now factory order your new Ford today, and you'll get your new car or truck exactly the way you want it. And there's no extra cost to custom order. Plus, you get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates. This applies to 2021 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, and Expedition. It's a win-win with a custom order at Woody Anderson Ford. You get the colors, the features, and the options that fit your life. Plus, you get notified when it's built, shipped, and ready to deliver. Listen, buying a new car or truck is likely the second largest investment you'll ever make. So why settle? Get exactly what you want with a custom factory order today. And get $1,000 off MSRP. See how at WoodyAndersonFord.com or at the corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And welcome back into the Thom Abraham Show. The Smokey and the Chad takeover edition of it. Smokey Mike, the Chad, Coach Grizz over there in the little glass booth, right? 256-5764-977 is the phone number to get in. You're going to need to do that a little bit later, as right now we have from the NFL on Fox, the SEC on CBS, and also radio host down in Southwest Florida. He's on here every week talking with Thom and providing some great information. He is the one, the only. He is David Moulton. David, good morning, sir. How's it going?
Well, I'm fine. I'm not sure that I'm worthy of the one and the only, but thank you.
Oh, not a problem. I mean, well, first and foremost, I would like to put out that NBC New York put out on Twitter as their headline, Tom Brady, who lost 2 Super Bowls to the Giants during his legendary 22-year NFL career, retires. Now, that's some type of pettiness that I love to see right here. David, we got to talk about Tom Brady retiring and announcing the retirement this morning. Pretty much everyone saw it coming. And so what are your thoughts now that it has officially happened that Brady has announced his retirement?
Well, many thoughts. First off, about that tweet, there's a joke in the business that all things are local. That's localizing a tweet right there. I have to admit, not surprised because of the news that broke 72 hours ago, but was very surprised 72 hours ago. Everybody that I have spent time around in the last year thought that he was going to play one more year. He signed a 2-year contract and was going to play the second year. He's probably going to finish second in the MVP voting. He was healthy enough, playing well enough, obviously loves to play football. The one thing, Troy Aikman said something to me a year ago about Brady in an interview in which I asked him, you're pretty good at this quarterback thing. So what is it that really impresses you about Brady? And he said, what a leader he is. And he went on to explain that when you're a franchise quarterback, if you're really going to lead a team, you got to get to know everybody. You have to spend time with everyone. And he said, it's tiring. It's exhausting. And it's a lot of little things. If you're going to be the leader of a franchise, that's what you have to invest. And he said towards the end of his career, it was tiring. It was wearing on him. I thought we saw it at the end of Brett Favre's career, especially with Green Bay. How the weight of carrying the franchise just seemed to overwhelm him before he went elsewhere. And so I think that's what we're seeing a little of. And the fact that clearly his wife, who had been public for at least 3 years about wanting him to retire, but I think he also acknowledged here at the end that, hey, you got to be all in to do this at the level that I've done it. And I don't know that I'm all in anymore. And I forget who it was who said many years ago, the minute you start thinking of retiring, you probably should. You're done.
David Moulton on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline with us. Now, David, let's go a little bit off of Brady right here. You were in SoFi Stadium with the NFC Championship game between the Rams and the 49ers. And let me ask you this honest question. As you mentioned, with Brady being number 2 in the MVP ranking, and most people have Aaron Rodgers sitting at number 1, do you think Cooper Kupp should be getting some MVP consideration after his performance in the NFC Championship game and basically going lights out all season with the way he's been playing?
I do wish some of these awards would incorporate the postseason in them. Most every one of the major awards in sports is a regular season award. Yeah, I do. He won the Triple Crown, I guess it is, of receiving. It's very difficult to do. If you see Cooper Kupp in person, this may sound strange. Bill Parcells many years ago was asked about Jerry Rice. What's the most impressive thing about Jerry Rice? And he said his endurance. And the reporter kind of looked at him and he said, he's 100% on every play, whether he's blocking, whether he's running routes and what have you. He goes and he wears us out. We don't have one guy who can keep up with Jerry Rice. We got to keep shuffling in guys. He wears you out. And that's Cooper Kupp. He's 100% on every play. I've never seen a receiver, an elite receiver, being asked to block as often as he is and block as many big people as he's asked to block. And he seemingly never tires, doesn't take a play off, is always on the field. It's really impressive. You could go to a game and just watch Cooper Kupp and be mesmerized. He's that entertaining and he's that good. Yeah. I mean, I always wish that we would, like with the Heisman, I always wish we could get away from just the quarterbacks or the running backs and incorporate others. And Devontae won one, and but usually it's a quarterback award. I would love to, this past year I thought maybe there was a chance to get a little more defensive players some love. But yeah, no problem. I think Cooper Kupp put it this way. I think a Heisman ballot, you get 3 choices. I don't see how Kupp could not be on your Heisman ballot, so to speak.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about that yesterday, and I totally agree with you. Kind of both of those awards, the Heisman and the MVP, just kind of being totally a quarterback award. But what about TJ Watt? I mean, do we just discredit what he did throughout the season? I feel like last year the league really messed up and didn't give it to Derrick Henry for what he did, and now with the injury, who knows what he could have done throughout the season and maybe have pushed that MVP race.
Well, if he had stayed healthy, when you consider that he missed either 2 or 3 games, or he missed 2 games, but he missed over half of 3 others,
right?
And to think he tied the sack record. I mean, if he could have stayed healthy, I mean, does he get 25 plus sacks?
Right.
And then I think, especially since they made the playoffs, then I think maybe you get a defensive player. In the rare cases, I mean, Alan Page, Lawrence Taylor. I don't know if a defensive player's won one since LT.
Correct.
So, but I think if he had stayed healthy and broke the record and by a handful of sacks, which he could have done if he stayed healthy, then I think he would have garnered serious consideration.
Right.
David, also another, the one person that everybody looked at was San Francisco, and I mean, goodness gracious, Jimmy G is just downright. He has his good moments. He has his bad moments. He makes Deebo Samuel look, I mean, just with the way bad Garoppolo could happen, Deebo was like your only chance to have San Francisco come up and get this victory. And when San Francisco was up 17-7, what was the mood in SoFi Stadium with the way it looked like it was more 60-40 49ers fans? So what was the atmosphere in the arena going on with that? And did you feel any type of momentum shift or any specific moment in the game where the momentum shifted?
SoFi is a very loud stadium. It was 60-40 Niners, but even the 40%, the way it's built, it's a canopy on top of a stadium. Half of the stadium's underground. So the noise really, resonates, if you will. It stays there for a while. So it's a very loud stadium. I'll be curious with a largely neutral crowd how loud it will be for the Super Bowl. But what was weird about it was that the Rams were in control of the game and losing 17-7. I mean, that was the strange thing. You looked at the stat sheet. The Rams had run twice as many plays. They had well over 100 more yards. They were running the ball. The Niners were not. And yet you looked up, it was late third quarter, it was 17-7. And so, but what I think happened was that the Rams began to wear the Niners down a little bit. And the Niners were never able to, after putting the touchdown on the board to go up 17-7, they really never sustained another drive. I mean, they had one kind of sort of drive in which they got to midfield and the hole should they go for it on fourth down, but they couldn't keep their defense off the field. And the Rams ended up running over 70 plays. They ran almost 24 more plays than the Niners did. And so it looked like the Rams were just making too many mistakes and the Niners were going to get out of here with a win. But yet you felt that the Rams were the team that actually was dictating what was going on. And it was kind of like the fighter who, doesn't have a mark on him and is losing the fight. And that's what it felt like for 3 quarters.
So, David, I wanted to ask you on the other side, the AFC matchup. I don't know if you got to kind of react to any of that. But I wanted to ask, did the Chiefs just blow the game, or did the Bengals? I mean, are we really talking about the Bengals here and Joe Burrow really possibly becoming the only quarterback to win the Natty, the Heisman, and the Super Bowl?
Well, there's no doubt that the Chiefs blew it to some extent. I mean, when you're up 21-10 and you're on the 1-yard line and you end up losing at home, when you're the better team, so to speak, you blew it. But I think the question has to be asked, why? How did they blow it? And when you think that they had, 7 possessions, 8, I guess if you count overtime, or they had 7 possessions in the second half, and they had 4 punts, 2 interceptions, and a field goal. And I think the Chiefs have to be asking themselves, how could this happen?
Yeah.
Against a pretty good to good defense on its best day. That's it. It's not a great defense. This isn't even a very good defense. This is a good to pretty good defense. How could we have the ball 7 times and have 4 punts, 2 interceptions, and a field goal? And I think if they can answer that, they can fix some of what ails them. I think, as silly as it sounds, they got to run the ball a little bit more. They got to stop putting it all on Mahomes.
I agree with you. Joe Mixon's huge.
Because when they throw it all the time, you look at their passing game, they're basically 2 guys. They're Kelsey and Hill. They don't have another receiver who garners any attention, who can win a one-on-one battle and get open.
Right.
And for the most part, they refuse to throw the ball to Edwards-Helaire out of the backfield, which is a big mistake. They should be doing a lot more. The one thing that the Bengals did that they deserve a lot of credit for, they took away the Chiefs' screen game.
Yeah.
For 20 years, Eagles and Chiefs, Andy Reid's been maybe the best screen coach and caller in the business. And the Bengals took that away, and then they took the deep stuff away. And they basically said, all right, good luck finding your spots in the middle of the field. And Mahomes doesn't want to play that game. And that was pretty obvious in the second half by him holding the ball and holding the ball and holding the ball. And I think they need to just do a little self-scouting here and realize, hey, the rest of the league's pretty good. They've kind of caught up to a few of the things that we've done here recently. We might have to adjust our game a little bit. They better do it quickly because their window is closing. Because Kelsey's, 33? And they got some salary cap issues coming up here in about 12 months. So they better figure next year could be their last best chance to win for a little while.
David Moulton with the NFL on Fox and SEC on CBS is with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And David, as you discussed with the Chiefs, let's get more broad with the AFC right now. As you've got Joe Burrow, who is in the Super Bowl with the Bengals, him and Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and that receiving core is just absolutely one of those shocker moments that happened this year. Justin Herbert comes out of nowhere, and then last 2 years has been exceeding expectations with the Chargers. The young crop of quarterbacks that's going on in the AFC compared to where you're looking at in the NFC, and you got Matt Stafford, Tom Brady just retiring, a lot of older quarterbacks in the NFC. The AFC, what is the NFC teams going to do with these quarterbacks once they all retire? Because it seems like the AFC right now could be into about a good 5-10 year run of dominance if they have this group or this core of quarterbacks staying in that conference or that particular conference for the next 4 or 5 years.
Well, this does seem as if we're entering the next phase of Brady, Manning, Roethlisberger, doesn't it? Where
sure does, yeah.
Mahomes and Burrow and Herbert, and if you want to throw others into the mix, it does seem as if we're entering that phase in the AFC. Once again, I think it means when Deshaun Watson gets traded, he's going to get traded to an NFC team. Because if you were running a team in the NFC, I mean, Brady's retired. Let's assume Rodgers demands a trade and goes to the AFC. Well, then Russell Wilson becomes the best quarterback in the conference, followed by Matthew Stafford, followed by Dak Prescott. There's a real opening if I'm running a team in the NFC. And I know everything that comes with Deshaun, and I'm not going to get into that. We're just talking about I got to get my hands on a franchise quarterback. who's 27, and who's under contract for 4 more years at less than $40 million a year, which in the NFL these days is affordable. He'll make less than Dak over the same period of time, and he's a better player. And look at what he could do. Look at all the divisions in the NFC that could suddenly become wide open. Take Rodgers out of Green Bay. The whole division's open. Brady's now retired. After Breeze retired, that whole division's wide open. The East, they have one competent team right now. And then look at the West, which obviously is where the competition is. But if you're running one of the other teams in the North and the South and the East, and you get your hands on a Deshaun Watson, you could dramatically change the power structure in that conference overnight.
I want to know your thoughts on what could have been if this possible trade back in 2020 before the NFL draft had happened, if the Miami Dolphins had really given up what they were trying to give up for Joe Burrow. Do you think that maybe the Miami Dolphins might have the same success if they had Joe Burrow at quarterback?
Yes, I do. I think Joe Burrow's this generation's Joe Montana. I do. And once Joe Montana cracked the lineup in San Francisco, a year and a half later, they won the Super Bowl. And I think Joe Burrow's just one of those guys. And, I think whether it was Flores or Greer or whoever that wanted Burrow, because the other thing is they haven't actually done great things with the first-round picks that they kept.
Right, like
So, Burrow would likely be on the same roster that they have now. And even though the Dolphins' offensive line is below average, it's not any worse than what's in Cincinnati. He got sacked more than anybody in the league, and he's been sacked, 13 times in the playoffs?
I agree with you. No, I agree with you, David. Like when they went into that Raiders matchup, I was like, whose offensive line is worse? And I honestly thought that the Raiders was better, and I was totally wrong. Totally wrong, sir.
I got to bring this up, and we haven't even discussed this, but it came out last night that the Vikings are doing interviews, and tomorrow, which happens to be National Signing Day, they're bringing in Harbaugh, not John Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh, to interview with the Vikings. What are your thoughts with Harbaugh on National Signing Day of all days, going to interview for the Vikings job? By the way, I'm a Bears fan, and I wanted him for the Bears, so I'm kind of a little bit agitated with this. But what are your thoughts with Harbaugh taking interviews on National Signing Day after going to the CFB playoff this last year?
All right, a few things quickly. First off, he couldn't leave Michigan until he beat Ohio State and won the conference. He did that. So now he can leave. The Michigan fan can't be mad at him. Disappointed, but they can't be mad at him. And he's allowed to go back to Ann Arbor and still have a good life. So he can leave, and it's okay. Secondly, it's fascinating to those in South Florida. Stephen Ross, huge Michigan supporter. He's given $500 million to the university, owns the Dolphins. Tried to hire Harbaugh 10 years ago. He turned him down for the Niners. And so the folks in South Florida are like, hold on a second. You're going to let him go to Minnesota? Well, you've got an opening. Hire him here. And the connection, Harbaugh knows the new general manager. They spent 2 years together in San Francisco. So he's seemingly comfortable with him. Look at, once again, think of that division if Rodgers leaves. Remember what Jim Harbaugh did with Alex Smith. Jim can coach. Jim won 11 games a year for 4 years with the same group of players that were going 6-10 with Mike Singletary. I think it'd be a good hire. Now, he's got a short shelf life. He's nuts, and he grates on people. But Minnesota hasn't been to a Super Bowl in 45 years, and they've never won one. Would you take a great coach for 4 or 5 years to take a serious crack at it and then deal with it after the fact? I would.
Excellent point there, David. And next week, you and Thom will be breaking down Super Bowl more in depth, because then we'll be we've got Pro Bowl week, so this is basically dead week to talk about. But David, much appreciate the time, sir. And you and Thom will be hearing from you guys next week.
Well, gentlemen, enjoy your week.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Make sure whatever you do, trash the joint.
Oh, trust me. I'm here all the time. I do that all the time.
Good. Fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Be well.
256-576-4977 is the phone number to get in. When we go back on the other side of the break, the Mount Rushmore talk that we had. Top 4 athletes of all time with Tom Brady's retirement. Brady, MJ, Gretzky. Who else you got?
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on 2 services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Here in the South, we like our traditions, like Alabama football and tailgating on fall Saturdays. And the best way to start your tailgate? Visit Brooks & Collier to see North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers. Big Green Egg, Blaze, and Traeger. Everything you need for that perfect tailgate. Check out our rubs and seasonings. We have a full wall to please any taste palate. Visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for 75 years. Roll Tide.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Have you ever found exactly the right new car or truck with the exact features that you want and nothing else? Well, at Woody Anderson Ford, we can promise you just that. Hey, Bobby White back again, and you can now factory order your new Ford today, and you'll get your new car or truck exactly the way you want it. And there's no extra cost to custom order. Plus, you get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates. This applies to 2021 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, and Expedition. It's a win-win with a custom order at Woody Anderson Ford. You get the colors, the features, and the options that fit your life. Plus, you get notified when it's built, shipped, and ready to deliver. Listen, buying a new car or truck is likely the second largest investment you'll ever make. So why settle? Get exactly what you want with a custom factory order today. And get $1,000 off MSRP. See how at WoodyAndersonFord.com or at the corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Tuesday afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Plenty of sunshine. Temperatures doing a great job at warming up. We're going to climb into the upper 50s and lower 60s. All good things must come to an end, and the good things are going to come to an end on Wednesday. A mostly cloudy or an overcast sky. We're going to start the day with a couple of scattered showers across the Tennessee Valley, but that activity is gradually going to become more widespread the later we get into Wednesday afternoon and then eventually through Wednesday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
leaving his mark on sports talk radio with a paddle.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Join West Neighbors weekday afternoons on The Drive, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Abraham Show, the Smokey and the Chad takeover version of the Thom Abraham Show, as we'll be here all week from 10 to noon here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Rose Scholar. He's at Gwathney Chad. The station's at 977 ESPN. I hadn't even put out the Twitch or the YouTube. Shame on me. Twitch.tv/977 ESPN. Also, YouTube, you could search 977 ESPN The Zone and subscribe to both of those right there. 256-576-4977 is the phone number to get in. Tom Brady's retirement. We're starting to go, and we're putting Tom Brady in the Mount Rushmore of all professional sport. We also figured out Michael Jordan would be number 2, Gretzky 3. Who would you have on your 4th? We had a comment on Twitter that Roy Munson should be one of the top athletes that would be up there. His career was cut short with a ball return accident. But how do you talk PBA without Munson? His athleticism also helped pay the rent. Well, you know, Munson lost. Big Ern McCracken was the one that won. You got to go with Big Ern McCracken if you're going to talk about PBA, man.
Ever. That's like one of the, that's in my heart, that's one of the greatest sports movies ever. I'm sorry. Like, that is the funniest movie I've ever seen in my entire life about bowling.
Bowling. Yes, most definitely. But it's just, we're at this moment now. We all saw this coming. We all saw that it was happening. And now we get to the point to where it is official. The reality is now starting to set in. And it's amazing how you look at athletes during their career at the beginning. Like, I hated Tom Brady so much at the beginning of his career, all the way through, like all of his New England stuff I hated.
Right.
When he got the Tampa Bay and became Fun Tom, I mean, that gave me a new appreciation.
See, yeah, like a lot of people started like liking Tom Brady a lot better. It's like you know, it's not that bad anymore. It's like, what? He was handed a team that was like, the defense was like 9th best from the year before. He had Mike Evans. He got Gronk. I mean, he got Leonard Fournette. He got so many weapons around him. He had Cameron Brate, who even is still a good like backup tight end. I mean, it's ridiculous what he was given, and yet we just we're like, you know, once he left the dirty Patriots, the bad Patriots, because of what they did for so many years of winning, and just because of possibly cheating and blah 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 blah, blah and all the Tuck rule. I mean, it's crazy. But I forgot one, by the way, because sorry, someone just called. Dale, thank you, Dale. And I can't believe I forgot about it, because I pulled for him as soon as I stopped going for Rusty Wallace, and as soon as he retired, and just wasn't a big fan anymore. We forgot JJ. We forgot Jimmy Johnson, man. The dude won in like every car he was ever in. The guy
was in one car.
I'm talking about when the man was in a car. The man won. And the man won, dude.
I gotta be honest.
How do we forget Jimmy Johnson? Come on.
Well, honestly, the thing is that with the way this NASCAR our NASCAR setup is, and it's rubbing me the wrong way. Like, granted, I understand that things needed to be changed when Matt Kenseth won the titles, the season championship, without winning a single race. But I feel
it's all about points, man. It's like Mario Kart. It's all about points.
I feel like it needs to be more than just like, all right, like there just needs to be a different way on this playoff system, because it just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I forgot about it. And granted, that it is a good one. It is a good one, the JJ. You could also bring up the 3.
Yeah, the Intimidator.
You said we had some comments on Twitch too about
it's from a very biased Red Sox fan. And a guy that watches the Twitch streams. And if you don't watch the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/977ESPN. You can find us anywhere, YouTube, all that stuff, Twitter, Facebook. Just search 977ESPN. But Head of Steel all the way from the Northeast and is just a random Tom Brady, Patriots. He's just one of those fans. You know what I mean? He's probably a Yankees fan on his day off. Like, I don't know. Like, he might be, honestly, he possibly could be straight up a Red Sox fan, but I don't know. Who knows? But he says Babe Ruth, Carl Yastrzemski, David Ortiz, Pedro Martinez, or Johnny Damon. And we did have someone earlier call and say Joe DiMaggio. And Joe DiMaggio he's good. But, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying with baseball. I could say anybody from, like, 50 to 60 to 100 years ago, and you'd be like, yep, Honus Wagner. I mean, what are we going to, like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we sitting here talking about when it comes to, like, I get it. Like, it's so hard to say who's the best when it comes to baseball. Football, basketball, hockey, we probably already know. You know what I mean? Like,
well, here's the thing. Baseball-wise, if you look at baseball, there's a certain particular person we all could say if the baseball writers weren't so, what's the word I'm looking for? Pompous.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the way they have dragged anybody from 1998 on that was even remotely, like, set up with the steroid era or anything like that.
Correct.
Which, you know, it wasn't illegal at the time, and some people didn't get popped with it. If you're not cheating, you're not trying, right?
Exactly. And we forgot another one because we're about to hit on a break. Another one that was just put in, Tiger Woods.
Oh, yes.
Tiger Woods, of course.
Yeah, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot about that.
Exactly.
TW on that one. But it's just Barry Bonds. What, Chad? What are you doing? All right, we good now?
No, we're fine. I had an issue. I apologize.
You're killing me, Chad.
I'm trying to do like 6 jobs and try to talk at the same time. It's very hard.
Oh, I was hearing like 3 different things in my ear. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? 256-576-4977 is the phone number to get in. Who would be on your Mount Rushmore of best athlete? Well, we did say team sport. That's the reason why we didn't think Tiger Woods. So team sport wise, but Tiger Woods is a great addition to it. And next hour, we got NBA.com's Beau Estes coming up at 11:25. Next, open lines, so use them. You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I love overpriced stuff. Avocados, designer t-shirts, artisanal water. That's why I get my internet from the other guys. Paying more for the same stuff. What could be better?
Wow is better. For just $19.99 a month, we give you the super fast, extra reliable internet you need. Act now before this deal is gone. Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month. Plus, learn how to get up to $300 on us. Sign up at Huawei.com. Wow. Limited to new customers with auto pay and paperless billing. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing, helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, the greatest player of all time has officially called it an NFL career after 22 seasons and 7 Super Bowl championships. Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady on Instagram announcing his retirement, said he's always believed the sport of football is an all-in proposition. As difficult as it is for him to write, he's not going to make that competitive commitment anymore. Added he's loved his NFL career, and now it's time to focus his time and energy on other things that acquire his attention. Also said his teammates, coaches, fellow competitors deserve 100% of him, but right now it's best he leave the field of play for the next generation of dedicated and committed athletes. Sources told ESPN that Brady's been adamant for weeks he never wanted a farewell season. Bucs executives and coaches have been bracing for his retirement in recent weeks. More on this story next as Greeny with Mike Greenberg continues.
The journey for 19 begins this year. This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and we'll bring all the action to you right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to move more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn. I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome into hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show, the Smokey and Chad takeover version of it. I am Smokey Mike, the Chad, Coach Grizz on the other side.
I'm here.
256-576-4977 is the phone number to get in. Talking about Tom Brady retiring. We're going to get into a top 10 here in just a second, but we got some breaking news that came out over the commercial break.
I don't have breaking news stuff.
You don't have breaking news?
I don't have that
I
stuff.
have breaking news. But anyway, Pete Thamel, who just got put on to ESPN, has, quote-unquote, an ESPN exclusive, as Caleb Williams has now decided where he's going to take his talents. Would you like to take a guess there, the Chad? On where Caleb.
Well, I saw it, so do you want me to say it?
He is taking his talents to Southern California, as he will.
Took him a while to say, "Yeah, I'm going to where my coach just went." I mean, kind of took a minute. Like that was a long time to decide. I mean, I guess. I mean, like, what were his better options? You know what I mean? Like, where was he really going to go? Like outside of USC? That's the thing. I'm just confused.
It's kind of bold to put that out there right about an hour after, and they're saying that Caleb is going to be in class today.
Ooh.
But putting it an hour after Brady announces his retirement. So it is Top 10 Tuesday in the Doghouse, and granted, we've gone a little squirrely off of some of Tom Abraham's traditions. We're going to give you a Tuesday Top 10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's the Tuesday Top 10.
All right, so we won't go like crazy into it. It's not going to go crazy long.
This is going to be a Chad.
But yeah,
Chad
this is gonna be my version. I thought it'd be a little fun as we get closer to the Super Bowl, and since Tom's not here, we kind of keep to his traditions and do a top 10. So I looked up the top 10 quarterbacks to never win a Super Bowl, and this is by Adam Rank, NFL.com writer. This was about 10 days. About 10 days ago. So at number 10, we have not Chris Everett, but Jim Everett. Of course, that's at number 10 to never win a Super Bowl. Number 9 would be Michael Vick. Of course, we know how. I'm sure a lot of us know how Michael Vick never won a Super Bowl, but Michael Vick to never win a Super Bowl. Number 8 was Steve McNair. I'm sure Titans fans know really well how that Super Bowl ended, but Steve McNair. Dan Fouts as well. Warren Moon at number 6. And number 5 is Phillip Rivers, actually. Phillip Rivers to never win, which is, man, like, I just feel so bad for Phillip Rivers because I feel like Justin Herbert is about to witness a lot of that. You know what I mean? Like, Justin Herbert is about to have a rude awakening if the Chargers do not give that man, the keys to the castle.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Just remember,
and build around him.
Rivers had to deal with Roethlisberger and Brady.
Who does Justin Herbert have to deal with? The next round of what we just heard David Moulton say, the next round of 4 amazing quarterbacks that are all comparable to the 4 that are about to leave us or are on their way out.
I mean, have you heard the phrase, history repeats itself?
Exactly. And that's the thing about Herbert is I'm so afraid. It's like, I love it. I love Justin Herbert. But that's the issue is, man, you play for the Chargers and literally, like, not only do you have to deal with Patrick Mahomes, but you have to deal with Carr. You know what I mean? Like, it's really difficult. And who knows? Nathaniel Hackett could get Aaron Rodgers next year. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know what's gonna happen. So it's just so sad to know that Phillip Rivers, just never won a Super Bowl. Fran Tarkenton. Also, we have Randall Cunningham coming in at number 3. Of course, that Vikings team was amazing. And to lose it by basically a missed field goal by the greatest kicker, like comparable, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to stat-wise, kicker-wise, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A dude that was like automatic in Gary Anderson. I mean, it's just crazy to think that they would have, you know what I mean? That they would have, they lost to the Falcons like that.
That was probably the best team to never go to a Super Bowl.
Jim Kelly, of course, at number 2. And to round off number 1, Dan Marino to never win a Super Bowl.
To never win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. And the notable... Oh, go ahead.
If you got any complaints with that, go to the complaint department.
Exactly.
That's headed by the Chad. So
I just thought that would be a little nice and fun to read off. And a notable mention is Ken Anderson, of course. That guy was probably the Bengal before all Bengals. You know what I mean? He's the one that ended up losing. Who had how just crappy would that be? Just to get better and better and better. Have Bill Walsh as your quarterbacks coach, and then lose to Bill Walsh. You know what I mean?
Pain.
And the first Super Bowl they ever got to. So
pain, just absolute pain right there. 256-576-4977 is the phone number to get in. We've got Bama basketball tonight as Bama and the number 1 team in the nation, the Auburn Tigers, are going to be going on in the jungle at 8 o'clock tonight. You can listen to it on
That's going to be a lot of fun.
On the airwaves, on our main airwaves. You can watch it on the television on ESPN. And now we're going to head out to the phone lines. And I was expecting this one. This man, I've got a question for this man, too, because I brought it up with David Moulton earlier in the last hour. But Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
Well, thank you. Let me add your trivia with quarterbacks. Any Lion that played since 1954 ain't won crap.
I'm talking about good, at least somewhat good quarterbacks.
Just Matthew Stafford has many playoff wins this year as Cleveland and Detroit since 1988 combined.
Do you realize how many first-round draft choices the Lions have had? A whole lot.
And a lot were on. And if you were Matt Millen, you were drafted a wide receiver at that time.
Thank you. All right, so what is this question I need to know? I guess deal with.
How do you feel about your head coach interviewing for the Vikings job on National Signing Day tomorrow?
I'm going to make this very simple, okay? When you reach my age, which I'm not old, I mean, but I am on the other side of the mountain. I'm not looking up the mountain. I'm definitely looking down. So the way I see it is this. It's in increments of happiness. I had fulfilled my, how do I say it? My belly has been full since winning the Big Ten championship and destroying Ohio State. And that's going to last for 365 days. So I don't care who he interviews for. All I know is the Big Ten championships and the cup or whatever trophy is reigns in Ann Arbor, and that's all that matters.
Well, Dan, that's all I needed to hear from you on that one, but I know why you're calling in, so let us know how you feel about the GOAT.
The greatest of all time. That's why they call him the GOAT. There's nobody better. I had a guy argue with me today where I worked out. He thinks Peyton Manning. I said, excuse me? He said, well, Tom Brady's a cheater. Really? I don't care if let's say, for instance, some way you cheat. You still have to have the talent and the ability to throw the ball to a wide receiver that's going pretty darn fast down the field. That's just something you just don't cheat, okay? So I don't, give me a break. Bottom line is he has 7 of them. His records, quite a few records are in the record books that might not ever be broken, but he has quite a few of them. You put them all together, I think that sounds like a wiener to me.
I do. I mean, you know me, Dan. I'm a Vol fan, and I admit that Tom Brady is better than Peyton Manning, and it just shows out on every single metric that you could look at in the NFL. Like Peyton, he had he had Super Bowl rings with 2 different teams. What did Brady have to do? Win Super Bowls with 2 different teams. Nobody won a Super Bowl at their home stadium. Tampa Bay won a Super Bowl at their home stadium last year, and now we get the Rams for the second year in a row having a team host the Super Bowl in their stadium. Rams could become number 2, and McVay and Stafford could have, how would you feel if Stafford actually had something that Brady had, as in winning a Super Bowl in a home stadium?
Well, I first off, before I get that, let me tell you this. I think Peyton Manning might have a better second half of his career than Tom Brady because, number one, I think Peyton Manning is extremely intelligent, but Brady is also. But Peyton Manning's very entertaining. He can, the rim shots. He is. You think he really is when you listen to him. He's pretty darn funny.
Well, you're right, but I mean, Tommy Boy's got some zingers that goes on left or right. I mean, him and Gronk could have a hell of a show going on.
Yeah, I guess so. But getting back to your question and refresh that real quickly because as I get older, it comes in and out. So what was the question? Short version.
All right, so basically Brady hosted Super Bowl last year and beat Mahomes. Stafford hosts his Super Bowl against Burrow this year. So Stafford and Brady could be the only 2 quarterbacks who have played in a Super Bowl in their home stadium and won. And so,
I'm all about that. I mean, look, Stafford deserves everything he can get, and I hope he gets the trophy. I hope he's the MVP. I want him to get everything he deserves. The guy's a class act. When he left Detroit, he put on one heck of a video. I mean, the guy was choked up. He's been through hell with his wife with cancer. You know, I mean, I don't. When it comes to football, I don't really know if I want all that extra information. But in this instance, it works because the guy has been on his back for numerous times with the offensive lineman, Lomas Brown, and everybody else was pretty much, just an average offensive lineman. So, like Barry, a lot of what Stafford got, he got because he's a talented quarterback and he can throw it from all different kinds of angles. But when you have Megatron for a lot of those years, it doesn't hurt either. So you got to have a combination of good wide receiver quarterback. But this guy, Stafford, I mean, what a charmed life now. I mean, Georgia wins the national championship. His wife was a Georgia cheerleader, and then possibly winning the Super Bowl with his family and his 3 girls. The only thing that's kind of jinxed him is he never had a boy. I mean, for me, I could blow a nose and, sneeze and I'll have a boy. So it is what it is. But listen, man, you're doing a great job. You guys are great replacement. When is the big Goomba coming back?
Goomba's coming back next Monday as he's got a Bassmaster tournament down in Southwest Florida all week that he's covering. So it's Smokey and the Chad for the whole week from 10 to noon.
Listen to that, Smokey and the Chad. It's all you know what that sounds like? Chico and the Man. There you go.
Chico and the Man. Oh, God.
There you go.
Lord have mercy. Got to bring that old reference in, don't you, Dan?
Yeah, well, when you're old, that's the only thing that left is references. Okay, everything else went south, all right? I'll see you later.
All right, Dan. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Dan.
256-576-4977 is the phone number to get in. Let's see. Florida State. I want to get into this just for a quick minute before we get Beau Estes on, talk a little round ball in the next segment. But Florida State, the ACC put out the schedule last night of this upcoming year, and this used to be one of the top 3 rivalries on Thanksgiving Saturday. And we all have our Thanksgiving tradition, or most of the Thanksgiving traditions in college football we're all used to, with Egg Bowl being Thanksgiving night. Then you had your CBS game on Friday, which usually involves the Pigs, Arkansas as I like to call them. And then you also have like your Iron Bowl, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State. You just all the rivalry games that, for the most part, is time and tradition. But Florida State, they have decided to move from Saturday to Friday. Does that make a reflection on how much this rivalry has dropped from what we saw in the 90s and the 2000s? Is it that bad on the national scale to where they were just like, hey, yeah, we'll move? And the only other one they moved from Saturday to Friday is North Carolina and North Carolina State. What, I'm just baffled. You couldn't do Duke. Couldn't do Duke Carolina because Carolina's playing NC State. Let's see, Virginia Tech couldn't do it on that Friday night. That's one of those that is a pretty good rivalry that could bring some eyeballs. But why Florida State? Is it just that bad for the state of Florida? Do we even consider the state of Florida any type of scare of college football in the upcoming year?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's if it's like how it used to be, where they're always grabbing headlines with recruits or the coach or whoever. You know what I mean? The reason why we watched Florida for the last few years was because of Dan Mullen and his antics. You know what I mean? It's why we can't turn our head away from how bad Mike Leach is. You know what I mean? He can be
Mike Leach. You mean Mike Norvell?
No. What I'm saying is Mike Leach. Mike Leach can say all these funny things or whatever. You know what I mean? And he can say his offense can look great, but he's not winning ball games. You know what I mean? It was great to see them upset Texas A&M, but I feel like maybe this just Billy Napier's kind of maybe a coach that probably is under the radar kind of feel. You know what I mean?
He just got hired. I
understand it's his first year. You don't want to go in and be going on there, be like, yeah, we're gonna win next year. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, and just flamboyantly just think that you're gonna dominate the SEC the following year. You know what I mean? Like,
you bringing up Leach actually brings up a very good point, because Leach's stops have been Lubbock, Pullman, and Starkville. Three places to where if you have a good football team, yeah, everything's gonna get better. But if your football team sucks from time to time, like a year out of like once every 3 years, they're fine with it. Like, the mentality of the fan base is much more calm compared to, say, Gainesville, where Gainesville and like Tallahassee, I think, has mailed it in. Like, the FSU fan base, I don't know if, like, I hardly hear anybody talking about the Noles anymore.
Yeah, I wonder, because it's like with what you're saying with Mississippi State and all the places that Leach has been, like Texas Tech and Washington State. It's like Texas Tech is probably more interested in basketball. You know what I mean? When football's terrible. It's kind of the same way with Mississippi State. When basketball's better, women's basketball, baseball, of course, they just won a national title. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that obviously Mississippi State fans are caring right now more about the baseball title than they are whether, next year that Mississippi State, the football team's going to turn it around. You know what I mean? Because they know what they have at head coach.
I'm just baffled, though, because it's like, how the hell did this just go to, like, crap?
I mean, I think it shows
so bad now.
But it shows you the structure, but it shows the structure of how the coaches that came before really just kind of let it get to that point. You know what I mean? And then with Alabama, it just feels like, even with Alabama, there were some times where in the early 2000s, amid all the stuff that was going on, it's kind of like when it got better, obviously, when the structure started getting better, it was clearly when, Mal Moore started making the right decisions to get Nick Saban to come to Alabama. Then Alabama with Nick Saban, with Greg Byrne, and continuing, you know what I mean? Like, continuing to build off of that success rather than, like, tear apart from within, it seems like. You know what I mean? Where the head coach is getting bought out, and, you know what I mean? It seemed like it's going in the opposite direction. But Florida also, it's like Florida should be ahead of everybody. You know what I mean? Florida should be right there with everybody else when it comes to, the facilities and doing everything that they should do to get a recruit to come to Florida. And Florida State should be doing the same thing. But really, I mean, Florida State, when we talk about Florida State hasn't been dominant since what? You know what I mean? They had Jimbo Fisher with Jameis. I get it.
Jameis was the last
that was like
time,
kind of like a flash. You know what I mean? Like
that wasn't even a flash in the pan. That was actually a good Florida State team.
No.
Who won the title.
What I mean
and then
is
went to the playoff the year after.
So we can compare Florida State to kind of how Dabo Swinney is doing Clemson right now.
That's fair.
So that's what I mean is, it's like, is Dabo Swinney really going to continue to create that winning program when he's losing guys? I feel like when Jimbo was leaving and saying that I'm not going to leave and then goes to Texas, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like that there was stuff there that obviously from within was going to end up doing that. And then there wasn't a good structure there to go, we got to go find the next guy. Because Willie Taggart obviously wasn't the next guy.
Nope, not at all.
You know what I mean?
And Taggart was a solid hire from South Florida.
Exactly.
But 256-576-4977 is the phone number to get in. I just wanted to get just a little bit of talk on that one. To recap the 3-team trade off of the breaking news earlier, Oklahoma gets offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby. Ole Miss gets quarterback Jackson Dart and tight end Michael Trick, and USC gets Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams. So we have a 3-team trade in the college football world, but we got Beau Estes from NBA TV and NBA.com to talk round ball. In the next segment, you are listening to the Thom Abraham Show right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
College basketball, number 1 Auburn, undefeated in SEC play, 20-1 overall, hosting Alabama at 14-7, 4-4 in league play. Auburn beat Alabama earlier this season in Tuscaloosa. Tonight, the Tigers a 7-point home favorite. Beijing 2022, Norway the favorite to nab the most Winter Olympic gold medals at -400, with Germany behind them at +600, Russia +900, then the United States at +1400, and Canada at +1600. The LA Rams opening as a 4-point favorite on their home field in Super Bowl 56 against the Bengals at +165 on the money line. The Rams -195. The over-under set at 49.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on 2 services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Carrier Rosenblum here with Rosenblum Realty, and we appreciate our MA family. Football season is back again, and we're here for your real estate needs. We've been also doing rental properties for many years. You may have a home that you need to lease out. You don't need the headaches. You need somebody to take care of it, make sure the repairs are done, keep the rent coming in, and screen the tenants. We can do all that for you at Rosenblum Realty, where we do property management services, or you can find a good home to rent as well. Call us at 256-539-9501. Put our years of experience to work for you.
Hey y'all, this is your girl Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
Hey men, this is John Deese, pastor Cross Point Church. Whether your own marriage is like 1st and goal from the 1-yard line or 4th and 15 from your own 2, there is something to be learned which will help us grow and our wives to grow closer to God and to each other and to finish the game well. So if you are married or single again, our new marriage series, I Do, Building Our Marriage, is for you. Join us this Sunday at Cross Point Church at 9 o'clock or 10:30, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, or check us out at cpcfamily.org.
more. Hey, this is Justin with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. We'd like to invite you to North Alabama's premier patio bar and grill, where at the factory, we have something going on each and every night. Monday night, steak night. Tuesday night, karaoke. Wednesday night, the Jeep community comes out for Jeep Jam. Thursday, it's bike night, the biggest in the valley. Friday and Saturday, live concerts on our 4,000 square foot patio, along with drink specials and a beautiful staff. What are you waiting on? We will see you at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Tuesday afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Plenty of sunshine. Temperatures doing a great job at warming up. We're going to climb into the upper 50s and lower 60s. All good things must come to an end, and the good things are going to come to an end on Wednesday. Mostly cloudy or an overcast sky. We're going to start the day with a couple of scattered showers across the Tennessee Valley, but that activity is gradually going to become more widespread the later we get into Wednesday afternoon and then eventually through Wednesday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Bring that playoff intensity every day to our shows.
Bring it on, Chomp. Let's go.
Okay, maybe just for Drew DeArmond.
Ding, me.
Listen for Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew. Weekday mornings starting at 7 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And welcome back into the Tom Abraham Show, the Smokey and the Chad takeover version. Smokey Mike, the Chad, Coach Grizz, out in the little glass booth right there. 256-5764-97.7 is the phone number to get in, but not for this segment right here, as we haven't talked a little bit of round ball here lately. So I wanted to talk some round ball. I wanted to get one of the favorite guys that I get from NBA TV and NBA.com, the GOAT Mentator, one Mr. Beau Estes. Beau, morning, sir. How's it going?
Well, it's going really well, and I'm proud to be a part of the takeover edition. We're just ripping this away from Tom, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. That's the point of it. Oh, man.
You're going to love it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, this is always fun times of Tom letting us have the keys to the castle. But just wanted to bring something up for you because I know you have a lot of, fandom, and you also, your mindset is a little different than the way we think down here. And with Tom Brady retiring, we're going through the GOATs, like the Mount Rushmore of GOATs right here. And we've got Brady, MJ, and then we've got Gretzky, which we all think should be obvious. And I don't know if that's your opinion on it as well, but the fourth one is always the question. Who would you consider in that fourth slot right there?
You know what? I asked this question on Twitter the other day, and there was not sort of like a common thread, but the one name I got quite a bit, and look, I'm from Atlanta, so it made some sense to me. Go back and look at Hank Aaron's stats. Go back and look at what that man did. Look, Atlanta's not a major media market like New York or L.A. or something like that. But if Hank Aaron did what he did in a New York Yankees uniform, I think you're talking about a guy that pretty much people think is the GOAT. I just think that he didn't do it in front of a huge audience. So I think that's a name that I would certainly throw out there. A lot of people from the Bay talk to me about Barry Bonds. I think there's a lot of mixed views on what happened with Barry Bonds. I saw him hit a home run in person in the playoffs that scared me. I've never seen, it looked like it never got above 9 feet off the ground. And it just felt like I've never heard a stadium, you either cheer or boo. There was an audible sound of fear after he smacked that one out of the old. You don't even know what to do when somebody does stuff like that. So, just for me, I think the most convincing argument was Hank Aaron. And so you're right. I don't think there's like a clear MJ, Brady, Gretzky, but if I'm forced to pick, I'm going to go Hank Aaron.
But it all goes back to MJ, right, Beau?
No, of course. Well, look, I think he stands on a rung above all those other guys. But I may be slightly biased in this regard.
Well, I mean, yeah, me too. I'm a little biased with MJ as well, since you being a North Carolina alum and me being a Chicago Bulls fan. And, back when I was Tom's producer, I was in misery watching the association during this time. But now looking at the East standings and by percentage points, lo and behold, the Chicago Bulls are your 1 seed right now. And the additions of Vucevic And then you get Zach LaVine and Lonzo Ball. You get all three of those. LaVine finally gets a little bit of a supporting cast, and this Bulls team is actually starting to rock it. But what's amazing is you look from 1 seed Chicago to 6 seed Brooklyn, and that's a smaller gap than 1 seed Phoenix to 2 seed Golden State. This East is going to be seems so tight right now that I can't figure out who would be a clear-cut favorite. Brooklyn, I mean, you got to figure out the Kyrie situation. But in your thoughts, who are you feeling is trending in the right direction in the Eastern Conference right now?
I think it's the Philadelphia 76ers. And what's wild is I'm saying that knowing that just swirling outside of that organization is this entire Ben Simmons story. And they backfired on him. It backfired on his group, the whole clutch group. They thought they could force a trade. Daryl Morey wasn't having it, and it's not happening. So I think the Philadelphia 76ers with Joel Embiid, who's a legitimate MVP candidate. I mean, folks down in the South saw what they did in Memphis last night without Embiid. This team has got some players. This team has got some depth. Last night, I believe, it was Tyrese Maxey getting it done for them. But, man, I just am impressed with that squad and their ability to sort of rally the troops in the midst of a bad situation with Ben Simmons. I don't know. Look, all season long, and this is odd, but the gambling odds have been with the Brooklyn Nets to win the NBA championship. Like they're going to magically realign 3 weeks before the season ends. There's going to be Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving. They're all going to be playing, and they're going to just storm through the NBA playoffs. I mean, maybe it might happen. Look, that's to me. I sort of, when I look at the NFL, I think of the LA Rams as sort of a Brooklyn Nets team. Like you just compile a bunch of all-stars and throw them out there and see what happens. It may work out that way for the Brooklyn Nets, but last year it backfired. And, these big three have not played together much. Meanwhile, Philadelphia is out there putting it all out there. And let me tell you something else. I do think the Chicago Bulls have a real shot at this thing. The weird thing about the Chicago Bulls, you mentioned the standings, and it's 2 games from the 6 seed to the 1 seed. The Chicago Bulls, among all those 6 teams, they're the 1 seed right now, have the smallest point differential of anybody. They score 111 points a game. They give up 109.2 points per game. So they're winning tight games all the darn time. That, to me, points to a veteran team that is experienced, that isn't afraid of those clutch moments. And we'll see how that shakes out down the stretch. But I do like what I'm seeing from the Chicago Bulls in a perimeter-oriented league, or at least it has been for years. DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball, and then you got Vucevic, who can step outside and knock down threes but play tough defense down low. This is a good squad.
Would you consider DeMar DeRozan right now the comeback player of the year?
That's interesting. Maybe. He's, what he also is? He's like sort of on that fringe outside group of MVP candidates.
Yeah.
The MVP candidates for me right now are Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Joel Embiid. Those are the 3 guys. DeMar DeRozan is in that next group back. He wasn't anywhere close to MVP last year, so I think he's in that group. You know who else is in that group to me is Ja Morant down in Memphis. I think Ja Morant's in a group that could win MVP. And to me, also, Ja Morant could win a scoring title this year if he keeps going like he's going. So there's a lot of guys. I've never seen it at this point in the season less clear about who's winning what award. Usually, 1, a narrative has taken hold, and 2, a guy or 2 has separated themselves from major awards. I haven't seen that happen this year. There's a lot of fighting at the top for those big awards. And just like we pointed out, there's a lot of fighting at the top in the Eastern Conference for playoff positioning. And it's going to be a fun – look, people criticize the regular season of the NBA. I work for the NBA. I get it. It's not as fun as, say, particularly college football where everything's on the line. But this Eastern Conference where home court advantage in the playoffs is going to come down to a game or 2, I think that's pretty exciting down the stretch for the NBA.
Beau, it's Chad over here, and I completely agree with you on the Hank Aaron in the top. It's not a bias thing. Stop saying that it's a bias thing, or if it is a bias thing, it's not. I promise you. You could say, I feel like in baseball you could pick anybody, and then you could have this long debate on whoever you could put at baseball. But I totally agree with you on the Hank Aaron aspect, whether I'm a Braves fan or not. I wanted to ask you, what in the? I get it because I look at the West and I see how good the Suns are and the Warriors are. Just kind of being those top two teams coming out of the West and how competitive the East is. What in the world is wrong with the Atlanta Hawks coming off of one of the greatest seasons they've probably ever had, if not had, in franchise history? Was that just a fluke, or what was with the trade, getting rid of Cam Reddish? I mean, what's going on over there?
Well, I tell you a couple of things. The knock against the Hawks for a long time has been defense, and particularly Trae Young's defense.
Of course. No, I agree with you. Totally agree.
Yeah, and if you look at what they're giving up per game, it's over 111 points. They're giving up more than 111 points a game. That's not good, man. That is not good. So they got to tighten up on defense. They got to figure out a way to prevent teams from scoring. It gets tougher in the playoffs to score baskets. If you're a team that gives up easy baskets in the playoffs, you're going to get gobbled up. I will say this, though. Trae Young showed me something in the playoffs last year. This is a guy who likes those shining lights, who likes that big moment. I think he can perform there. They come off that huge recent win streak, that really nice win streak, and now they're in the mix in that play-in game. But again, they can zip right up into the sixth spot, not too difficultly. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but they can get up there if they go on another win streak. I think that's important for them to not be in a play-in game and to have the security of being in a playoff series. But it's a team that really it's sort of in flux. You're right. They get rid of Cam Reddish, but they get this guy in Onyeka Okongwu, who seems like a world beater now.
Yeah.
He's just such a defensive stopper. That's what they need. So if they're putting those guys that play defense up front, I think that maybe they're starting to figure things out, and they need to do that in a hurry.
Do you think when we're talking about how Trae Young is kind of like getting better, getting back into it, and kind of, really, I know that he loves the spotlight on him, and I know he loves to thrive when he can. But do you think that with that addition of kind of how the rule is now, where a lot of players like the Trae Youngs of the world on offense benefited from that kind of rub rule where they would get a foul off of what most of us would never think is a foul? Nowadays, it's kind of like the NBA is a little tougher nowadays. Do you think some players are kind of working their way back up, should say, to try to be at that level and kind of play under what the NBA wants them how to play under?
Well, I tell you what, I'm personal friends with the guy who does some consulting for Trae Young, and it's basically understanding the rules and trying to figure out how to play within those rules and take advantage of those rules. And they've changed this year. You're right. And so what's happened with Trae Young is he's been figuring out, and he's been figuring it out, and he's been figuring it out. And to me, now he's a top 5 scorer in the league. He's averaging almost 28 points per game. So he hasn't dropped off that much. He's had to change it a bit. You're right, because he can't jump into people. He didn't get those same foul calls that he used to get. But Trae Young is a superstar. He will figure it out no matter how the rules are. People always talk about, which players today could survive in the 90s with hand checking. The superstars will figure it out. And Trae Young is now a superstar. And I'm glad that he's proven that ability. But it does take something away from his game. It's the same thing with James Harden, was another famous guy. I think
right.
Steph Curry sort of did a bit of that too. So it takes an adjustment. It takes a period of time. I think he's had it. I think he understands it. And I think he's figured out different ways to score. To me, Trae Young is not just a scorer, though, man. This is a guy who sets up people wonderfully. He's
correct.
Maybe the best alley-oop passer in the game. Averaging almost, over 9 assists a game. So, it's not just the scoring with Trae Young, but I like I mentioned to you guys, I'm an Atlanta native. He's the biggest superstar the Hawks have had since Dominique Wilkins.
Right.
And I remember those days. So I think it's a great time for the Atlanta Hawks, and they should treasure this guy.
Oh, for sure.
Beau Estes from NBA TV and NBA.com on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Beau, bigger surprise, the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Los Angeles Lakers?
Oh, I don't think the Los Angeles Lakers. It's a good question because you're going opposite ways, expectations-wise. I don't think the Lakers are that much of a surprise, and that may upset some people. But when the Lakers started signing guys that were my age out there, left and right, people were wondering what in the heck's going on. And LeBron took offense and stuff like that. But it's come to pass. Look, these guys are older. They're not in the sort of shape and have the same youthful ability they used to have. They give up a ton of points. They give up more points than any team that's currently qualified for the playoffs out in the West. LeBron's missed a lot of time. He's still missing time now with swelling in his knee. So I'm not terribly surprised by the Lakers. The Cleveland Cavaliers, I am surprised by. And, it all starts with, they got maybe the rookie of the year in Evan Mobley. That helps. When you draft and you land a guy like that helps immediately. But he's not the only thing. Darius Garland is a star on that team. So I think there's a lot to be said for what's going on in Cleveland. And even if you get down to like a guy that the Brooklyn Nets basically gave away in Jared Allen, there's a lot there that's worked well. I tell you, my biggest surprise on Cleveland, it's not Mobley, it's not Garland. It's been the recent play of Kevin Love, who all of a sudden is just doing stuff again. So I think Cleveland may have something for folks. I don't know. I'm always a believer that it takes a team one dip into the playoffs to get used to that moment, get beat one time. So I don't know that they're a real playoff threat this year. But I do think they've announced themselves as a serious team going forward.
I completely agree. Evan Mobley is one of those that I'm just looking at night in and night out. And, I mean, I like to do a little DFS, like to do a little daily DraftKings, and just the numbers that I see coming from him each and every night is like, goodness gracious. And that's another one like Jokic. It's almost like Jokic is one of those that I don't want to get burned by him, so I play him every night no matter what.
Let me preach the gospel. Let me just tell you something real quick. To any listener out there, if you haven't seen Nikola Jokic play, this is the best player in the NBA right now. I'm not joking. He doesn't get a lot of national exposure. It's sort of a combination of Larry Bird and Dirk Nowitzki. He does absolutely everything. He's averaging a triple-double this month. He's the reigning MVP. He's a basketball genius. The passes this man makes, or I don't know anybody else in the world. Maybe LeBron can make these passes. It's a shame he doesn't get more exposure nationally because it's just absolutely mind-blowing the way this guy plays basketball. And I'd like to say, I've gone into, high school gyms and AAU and seen the impact that Steph Curry has had. Young players shooting threes from all over the place. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. I'm curious to know how Nikola Jokic impacts the game going forward because smart young players with that sort of size will learn what he does and how he's effective. I don't know that people can naturally see the court the way he does. There's something in his brain that just sees the court almost like a Magic Johnson or something like that. But, it's tough to imagine a player repeating what this guy has. And, I mentioned that he's in the group with Giannis and Joel Embiid for MVP. If Denver gets enough wins, it's Jokic, guys. It's absolutely Jokic. He's separated himself as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I would agree with that. Beau, it was great catching up, man. I mean, it's been a long time,
thank you.
but always good catching up with you. Beau Estes from NBA.com and NBA TV. Much appreciate the time, sir, and can't wait to be hearing that NBA Top 10 here in a minute.
I appreciate it, man. And when you guys steal the show from Thom again, have me on, okay?
All right,
Yes,
not
sir.
a problem, sir. Beau Estes from the Goat Mentator, as some people call him. And, I mean, if you listen to him on the Top 10, he makes it very entertaining. It is a great listen to, great watch each and every time, but Beau does the Top 10, not Pop 10. But anyway, we're going to give you, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to tell you what to watch on TV tonight. You are listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
At Progressive, we know there's nothing like the feeling of riding a motorcycle with your crew on the open road. That symphony of engines roaring in perfect harmony. It's a feeling that would be impossible to recreate on the radio. Until now. Hit it, Jerry. Oh, my word. Really, really terrible. Was that a glockenspiel, Jerry? Quote with Progressive and see if you could save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. No, Jerry. It's over.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental on the South Memorial Parkway. Did you know that Valley Equipment Rental is independently owned and operated by local folks right here in the Valley? They are celebrating 10 years into business this year and have grown to be North Alabama's largest supplier of rental skid steers and mini excavators. Now, if you have a question about what tool to use, just call them at 964-6081, and the pros at Valley Equipment will get you into the tool that you need for your specific project. Valley Equipment, more care in every rental. For over 20 years, Audio Insight has been designing and installing systems that integrate today's technology into homes and businesses all over the Tennessee Valley. At Audio Insight, they don't provide one-size-fits-all system solutions. Instead, they design your system from the ground up based on your valuable input. By working closely with you, Audio Insights can ensure that your system will meet your performance, budget, and aesthetic needs. Visit the showroom at 1229 Putman Drive off Jordan Lane and experience some of their fine products firsthand. Visit audio-insight.com to learn more. Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Have you ever found exactly the right new car or truck with the exact features that you want and nothing else? Well, at Woody Anderson Ford, we can promise you just that. Hey, Bobby White back again, and you can now factory order your new Ford today, and you'll get your new car or truck exactly the way you want it. And there's no extra cost to custom order. Plus, you get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates. This applies to 2021 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, and Expedition. It's a win-win with a custom order at Woody Anderson Ford. You get the colors, the features, and the options that fit your life. Plus, you get notified when it's built, shipped, and ready to deliver. Listen, buying a new car or truck is likely the second largest investment you'll ever make. So why settle? Get exactly what you want with a custom factory order today. And get $1,000 off MSRP. See how at WoodyAndersonFord.com or at the corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
I want to thank you
Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
So I'm going to watch it on TV.
The game's on. Oh, I almost forgot. I'll be right there.
We like sports and we don't care who knows. From shooting hoops to the Super Bowl. We like sports and we don't care who knows. Football, tennis, hockey, golf. The game is starting. Everyone is here. I got my snacks, my friends, and a beer.
So I'm going to watch it on TV.
Are you ready for football? A Monday night party!
So I'm going to watch it on TV. So I'm going to watch it on TV.
What to watch on TV tonight is presented by Audio Insight, right? That's the one that, all right, Audio Insight, the one that actually mounted our TVs in the studios.
Did an amazing job. Looks great.
Yeah, it does look
They tried to get me to do it. I was like, no. like, what are you talking about? No. Like, seriously, trying to get me to do it.
Audio Insight can give you a good setup for your television, your sound speakers, or what soundboards? That or not soundboard, sound. What's the sound? What's that one that goes across the bottom? I'm trying to think. Sound something. I can't.
Sound bar?
Soundbar.
Like
Thank
sound
you.
bar? Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
Dur.
It happens. It happens.
Chad, give me something to watch on TV tonight.
Well, I mean, we were just talking NBA, and I guess we just didn't really ask Beau tonight about any games coming up. But Wizards and Bucks are on TNT tonight. That'll be the 6:30 game. And then, of course, tonight you'll have the Nets and Suns on TNT as well right after. So I'm probably going to be watching that. I don't know. What about you?
Me? Well, that'd be more than likely.
I watch my shows, so I'm good, you know.
Boba Fett doesn't come out till tomorrow, so the wife and I are waiting on that one. And Tuesday nights usually is a light night. I mean, you could watch the new edition of Judge Steve Harvey going on ABC, but no, seriously, it's yeah.
How do they keep having these shows of people that aren't judges? or are they? Did Steve Harvey probably got his degree because he was like Strayer University, like talking guy for a while,
right?
So like he may have gotten his law degree through Strayer University or something. I don't know, but it's so funny that we have these shows on television nowadays that we're throwing this crap to people where it's like Judge Steve Harvey, who is not a judge.
But seriously,
it's like Judge Jerry. What?
Tonight is a night of round ball. TNT, you got Bucks and Wizards, and followed by Nets and Suns. But on the air tonight, Bama and Auburn. Number 1 Auburn in the jungle, Auburn Arena, 8 p.m., 97.7 ESPN. The Zone will carry it. Pre-game starts at 7. If you want to watch it on the television, it is on ESPN. The Uno. For the Chad, I am Smokey. This has been the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.